by you. I'll be your everything, your blue sky. I go to war. Damn right.
All right, here we go. Welcome back to the Professional Stepdad Show. I am your host, Franco Zavala. Thank you guys very much for coming back, for joining me on today's episode. This is episode 178 of the show. So, as you guys know, I usually have I have a lot of topics that I can speak about, or I can talk about, certain things that I've dealt with as a stepdad over the past 13 years. And then recently, my team and I, like I said, we've put together these videos where we are getting a lot of responses from them, meaning we're getting a lot of comments from individuals they're positive comments and negative comments, and then there are kind of the in-between. And that's really what today's going to be about. They're going to be the in-between comments. So if you go back to episode 176 and 177, those are the good and bad comments. And like I said, these are the in-between. The reason I'm going to be doing more of these episodes where I'm dealing with certain comments that people leave on the information that I'm giving away and putting out and I'm trying to share is because I think that it's important that I addressed these conversations, these comments, because these comments, good, bad, right, or wrong, they are opening the lines of communication between individuals who find themselves struggling in their blended family, struggling in their, struggling to figure out what kind of man and leader and father they want to be, or struggling to find out what kind of mother they want to be. And I mean, I can honestly make an entire episode off of like one or two of these comments alone, but I'm trying to always keep it positive. See, what people don't realize is this: I don't give a shit about you sending a comment or commenting on one of the videos, or maybe like for instance, I'm getting comments on the wake up calls, meaning, we put information out there where if you wanted to do a hour wake up call with me, you can absolutely book one. And some of these comments that people are leaving are really focused, and they deal with their insecurities about wanting to get help. They say things like, if you need help being a stepdad, or you need help learning how to find out what kind of man you want to be, a leader or father you want to be, then you shouldn't be in that situation in the first place. And that's just ignorance, right? But you can't stop people from being ignorant. You guys know this. And I don't want to stop people from being ignorant, because whether they know it or not, when they leave these types of comments, embedded within them is an individual screaming for help, is an individual expressing their ignorance towards this world, this blended family world. And I can't get mad at them for that, because all they're doing is giving me feedback, and they're commenting on these videos based on how they were raised. And I'm not going to get mad at you, but what I am going to do is I'm going to thank you for not only leaving negative comments and positive comments and in-betweens, but for engaging in the conversation, because it is sparking heated battles and conversations within the comments, and that's good. That's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. A bad thing is when nobody's saying anything, or a bad thing is when a stepdad is struggling and he's too afraid to ask for help because he's too afraid to get ridiculed, or he's too afraid to be judged. And this is the reason why I do this. This is the reason why I have this show, to let you guys know that asking for help and needing guidance and needing, assistance, or doing the wake up call with me, where I just you and I are going to go together for an hour, and I'm just going to listen to your story and listen to what you're trying to accomplish. And then I'm going to just be real and honest with you and give you the insights and the advice that I could give you that could possibly put you on the right path towards success. So keep leaving the comments, because I'm going to keep making episodes about them. So like I said, today's episode is going to be about the in-between. And basically what I mean by the in-between is these are comments that are left there. They didn't really fall in the good or the bad, or the right or the wrong. They just fell kind of in between. So I figured, hey, let's do an in-between episode. Because again, remember, the communication is still open. Okay, so first one. First one's going to come from Isaac Perez. Man, being a stepdad doesn't have no instruction manual that can prepare you for the task for the task ahead. You're either going to do it or you're not. I raised 2 stepkids, and it was a challenge, but I wouldn't change it ever. So one of the reasons I'm reading that is because of what he says here about the instruction manual. There is not an instruction manual on how to be a step parent. There just is not. Because each and every one of us have a different journey that we're going through. You know, some of you have a bio dad or a bio mom in the picture. Some of you don't. Some of you get along with the bio mom or bio dad. Some of you don't. Some of you are dealing with a lot of ignorance when it comes to other family members. Some of you are not. Some of you have found success with communication and teamwork within your family, and some of you are really struggling to try to find answers. But this does not come with an instruction manual. The instruction manual is literally being written as we all talk. So Isaac, thank you for saying that out loud, because what it basically means and what he's basically trying to say is like, you can't just go buy a book and then become a successful step parent. That's not how it fucking works. And anybody that has ever tried to sell you on that, like if you do X, Y, and Z, you will succeed. And if anybody's ever to guarantee you success, then they're fucking lying. They're lying, because at the end of the day, I could give you, let's say, 8 pieces of advice, 8 pieces that you can implement today within your blended family that can help put you on the right path towards success. But I would never say you'll be successful, because I don't know what you do when you don't watch my show. I don't know what you do when you don't listen to my show. For all I know, you're fucking at the house and you're asking for help, you're seeking guidance, but then you are lazy as shit or you're a procrastinator. And there's so many variables. So, it's really hard to make sure that the information that is being received, the information that is being put out, it's really hard to make sure that the best way I'm trying to say it is like the information that you get, that you listen to, that you hear, that you read, make sure that you're just taking bits and pieces out of it. Make sure you're taking what is going to work for you, pushing the rest to the side and moving on, and keep putting it into that backpack, because that's what you're going to need. Because, things change. Kids get older. Relationships change with you and your wife. You're going to change as a person, job, the kind of man you want to be, all of it changes. So, Isaac, thanks for that comment, brother. Okay, the next one is from Jessica, and I don't want to mess up your last name, Jessica, so I'm going to just say Franchitti. Franchitti. I did not mean to say titty, I swear. But okay. Actually, in my opinion, most step parents get frustrated and upset because of issues with how the bio parent is parenting and or what the bio parent is expecting of them, while simultaneously putting restrictions on the step parent so they never feel like a true parent. I'm part of a very successful blended family, but I've seen many families that were close to us fail because of issues with responsibilities and defensiveness. This is a big one, guys. Thank you, Jessica. This is a big one because, she says that the issues, how the bio parent is parenting or how the bio parent is being expected while simultaneously putting restrictions. So basically what Jessica is saying is this. This is a very common thing in the blended family world where stepdad, and I'm using stepdads as an example. If you're a stepmom, just switch the words. But, a stepdad enters a blended family. They want to be successful. They have this vision and how they want their family to be. And a lot of men believe that just because they stepped up, that they deserve respect or they deserve to be treated with like trust and love, when in reality, you haven't done shit yet in order to gain that from the family members, let alone your partner. I don't give a fuck if you're married or not, or if you're dating or not. The bottom line is that when you step into a blended family, the blended family means somewhere along the lines, something happened and bio dad left or bio dad passed away or bio dad and mom aren't together anymore. And now her job is going to be to protect herself and to protect her kids and to protect her family. So she is going to put restrictions and limitations on you in the beginning. But stepdads, if you can not only start working on yourself, but if you and your partner can sit down and discuss the proper way to parent, how can we handle this? How can we move forward as a team so that the kids see that we're parenting together, that we agree, that we have each other's back? And that is a huge misstep for a lot of stepdads and stepmoms and blended families. It's the fact that they never take the time to not only learn about themselves, but to establish a good set of values for their relationship so that they can enter into this journey as a team together at a 50-50. Because parenting is parenting. In no way, shape, or form would I ever suggest that a stepdad or a stepmom comes in and be the disciplinary individual, because that's not, you haven't earned that right. You don't have that right. Do I discipline my kids? Absolutely I do. But I've been here for 13 years, you know? And trust me, it didn't always go over well. And I had to learn how to hold it back. I had to learn how to bring in rein myself in, because I almost started parenting and started disciplining like my father did to me. And that doesn't fucking work here, because I hadn't established myself. I hadn't built trust, and I hadn't built like a sense of worthiness and like an ability to show that I wasn't going anywhere, and that, and I can, it's going to take me time to build the respect with everyone. So you're right, Jessica. A lot of blended families fail because of that line in the sand that is drawn, which is, you stay there, I'm going to do this over here. I'm going to parent, I'm going to do everything, and I'll need you when I want to. Why don't you pay the bills, do the chores, go to work, and I'm going to take care of everything else because you're not the blood parent, you're not the bio parent, I am, and therefore here's the line, don't cross it. And that's bad, because that's how most blended families are. And the reason that line has been drawn in the sand is it's just the trust thing. All it is trust. It's the ability to look at your partner and to say, let's do this together as a team, not individually, right? So thank you, Jessica. I really appreciate that comment. Okay, next one is going to come from Shaya Kavala. Messing up some of these names, guys. Apologize. Let's stop acting like stepdads and stepmoms are treated the same. We're not. Lots of stepdads are glorified, and some stepmoms can never do right no matter what is in the bio mom's eyes. Okay, so Shai, okay, I see where you're going here. So let's stop acting like stepmoms and stepdads are treated the same. What do you mean? Yes, we are. We all go through similar situations. You're wrong there, Shaya. I mean, and I don't want to say you're wrong, because your opinion and your comment has value. It has value because it's allowing me to express my opinion and how I see it. Because in your situation, Shaya, if you are a stepmom, or if you dealt with an individual that was a stepmom in your situation, yes, that's how it was happening. The bio mom wouldn't allow stepmom to do anything. And then the stories maybe you have or something that you're connected with, the stepdad is kind of glorified and he's kicking ass. But that's just your situation, that circumstance. In reality, we all go through very similar problems. We all struggle to find ourselves. We struggle to find our footing. We struggle to find our value and our worth. We struggle to build a team. We struggle to open up the lines of communication with our partners so that we can learn to parent together. We struggle to learn how to properly communicate with our kids simply by listening. We struggle with that. That is a very common thing. But every one of us has a different avenue and a different door that we have gone through, and problems that we've dealt with, success that we've had, and failures that we've had. It's very, very common. It's a very common thing. Okay, next one. George, or Jorge Ochoa. Ooh, Ochoa. I've been a stepfather for the past 11 years, and it's been a really rough experience. I love my stepson, but unfortunately, he has never really accepted me. I'm okay with that, because I'm not asking him to love me or me. All I care about is him making it in this chaotic life. I got it. My job is to take care of him and my wife. Him loving me is something that I've always known might not happen. So, Jorge, George, I understand where you're coming from, man. We all have been there, wondering whether or not my oldest daughter, who was closest to her father, I never thought I was going to be accepted by her. Matter of fact, my two oldest kids still call me Franco. My three youngest call me Dad. But it took me a long time. I didn't really understand how to connect with her, because she would literally go out of her way to disagree with me on things that I know were something that she likes or something she was interested in. But she would disagree with me just to do it, just to see how I would react. And for a while there, I struggled. I was going back and forth, and I tried to force it a couple times, and that shit didn't work. And it wasn't until I learned her love language. It wasn't until I shut up. I shut my mouth and I just started listening to her, figuring out what her greatest strengths are, her greatest weaknesses were, figuring out what her favorite color was, what music was she into, what kind of shows did she like watching. And I started to just study it. I started to write it down. And then I started to implement my listening into my development of our relationship. And what happened is that it took a while, it took years. But not only was I finally accepted by her, but when we danced at her wedding and she looked at me, and it almost makes me tear up, just the pure joy and acceptance and love that she had for me at that moment was worth everything that I went through. So Jorge, I get it, man. And you're killing it. Meaning like, first of all, you're on here leaving a comment. Second, you're saying that your job is to protect them and to provide for them. And that's freaking big, man. Don't think that you don't deserve love, brother, because you do. Don't think that you don't deserve acceptance and value from your stepson, because you do. It might not come in the way that you want it to come, but eventually it will. You have to just continue to do the work. And it pays off. And I can't stress that anymore. It pays off. It takes time. You have to be patient, but it does pay off. But either way, hey, if you need to hear it from me, man, I'm proud of you. I love you for what you're doing. Thank you for stepping up. Thank you for commenting and keeping the conversation going. I respect the shit out of you for that, Jorge. So thank you. All right, last one. Ray Perron. I was a stepdad for 5 years. The problem is in my case was that the mom wanted to be the deciding factor on everything, despite me paying all the bills and being the only father figure. Okay, so what Ray's straight saying is that bio dad was not the picture. He's not around. Maybe he's in prison. Maybe he just didn't want to see the kids anymore. Whatever. But this is going to kind of go back, Ray, to what what Jessica was saying when it comes to parenting. The problem, he's saying that the deciding factor on everything, despite me paying all the bills, so the mom wanted to be the deciding factor. Basically, what he's saying is that he didn't feel like he was being heard in the relationship. He probably still doesn't feel like he's being heard. Ray, if you don't feel like you're being heard in the relationship, you're not effectively communicating that with your partner. You're just not. Maybe you're getting too angry. Maybe you're getting too upset. Maybe you avoid problems. Maybe you run away from problems. Maybe you're not somebody that likes to fucking talk about his feelings. I don't know. But if you're actually seeking out ways to get better, Ray, then you have to take a step back and start figuring out what's stopping you from developing better habits and skills for yourself. What's stopping you from becoming a better man for yourself first? Because by doing that, you're going to learn what's working and what's not working on how you communicate, not only with your kids and your partner, but with everyone. This could be with work, with friends, it doesn't matter. Nonverbal communication is big, and the way you're communicating is obviously not working to the point where mom wants to be the deciding factor and wants you to pay all the bills. And I get that's how you feel. But trust me when I tell you this, man. She does want to relinquish some of the power. She does want to say, let's do this together. She does want to bring you into the fold. But she just hasn't done it yet because there's a gap there. It's a trust issue. It's a value issue. It's you feeling like you're not being heard and her feeling like you're not speaking her language. The communication has to sit. So you guys have to sit down. You guys have to talk about it. Learn how to goal set together as in a relationship, as a husband and a wife, as a boyfriend and a girlfriend, as a man and a woman. Learn how to goal set with one another for this year. What kind of goals do you have for yourself, Ray? What kind of goals do you have for your relationship? What kind of goals do you have for your family? How can you hold each other accountable and responsible for these things? And once that starts to happen and you start to build on top of this foundation of team, then that trust that you're looking for, your voice that wants to be heard, Ray, will come. I promise. All right, guys. It's episode 178 of the show. Thank you guys again for tuning in, for listening, for watching here on YouTube. And keep those comments coming. I'm going to do my very best to not only get to 200 episodes before the end of the year, but most important, I'm going to do my best to get more stepdads on here. So if you're a stepdad or a stepmom, I don't care if you're a bio mom or if you're somebody that wants to talk about a blended family situation, send me an email right here, contact@professionalstepdad.com, and I would love to have you on the show just to talk, just to communicate. Yeah, that's it. All right, guys, until next time, be well. Hey, thanks for listening to the show. Listen, if you know a stepdad who is in need of any of this information, do me a favor right now. Hit that subscribe button and share this episode with them as fast as possible. Did you do it? Okay, you did it. You hit this. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Quiet on the set, please. Thank you, everybody.